Episode 56 RL March 6, 2024. Why Mainers are falling hard for heat pumps. Table of Contents 1. In Maine. Why Mainers are falling hard for heat pumps. 2. A former EPA administrator describes the use of Inflation Reduction Act money for heat pumps in Maine. 3. United States, House of Representatives. 4. California. 5. Florida. 6. Massachusetts, Acton. 7. Michigan, Detroit. 8. Montana, Helena. 9. Nebraska, Grand Island. 10. New Mexico, Raton. 11. New York. 12. North Dakota, Fargo. 13. Pennsylvania, Lehigh Valley. 14. Texas, Austin, in Leon County. 15. Canada, a Comox Valley letter to the editor from April 2019. 16. United Kingdom, Drax, Jenny Jones. 17. Europe, Mediterranean Sea. 18. France, Lille, PM 2.5 in lung cancer. 19. Italy, Lombardy. 20. Liberia. 21. China, Airbnb. 22. India. 23. Korea. 24. Myanmar, Yangon. 25. Thailand. 26. PM 2.5 in human health. 27. The biomass industry. 1. In Maine. Why Mainers are falling hard for heat pumps. RAWSEP's top excerpt. A Maine man said he and his family have been paying up to $600 a month for oil, as well as going through 3 tons of wood pellets for their heating stove each winter. It works fantastic, he said, of the family's new heat pumps. People that get them rave. His 2 dogs love them. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against with smoke emission Particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. March 2, 2024. Why Mainers are falling hard for heat pumps. In Maine, the percentage of households burning home heating oil is the highest in the country. Yet no other state is adopting climate-friendly heat pumps as fast. A woman switched from heating oil to electric heating when heat pumps were installed in her home in November 2024. In mid-January 2024 in Farmingdale, Maine, the temperature dipped to 6 degrees Fahrenheit. The kind of cold that hurts, she said. But this winter, the woman's bungalow is toasty, thanks to 2 heat pumps she installed to replace her oil furnace. She's also saving money, no longer paying $400 every 4 weeks for an oil delivery. In 2023, heat pumps outsold gas furnaces in the United States for the 2nd year running, a climate win. Electrical heat pumps are the cheapest and most energy-efficient ways to heat and cool homes, and they do not emit the carbon pollution that is overheating the planet. Maine is quickly going electric, installing electric heat pumps 3 times faster than the national average, according to Rewiring America, a nonprofit that promotes widespread electrical adoption. Last September, Maine met its goal of installing 100,000 heat pumps in households 2 years ahead of schedule and is aiming to install another 175,000 by 2027. Maine's rapid adoption is being spurred by a combination of state rebates on top of federal incentives and a new cadre of vendors and installers, as well as mounting frustrations over the high cost of heating oil. The $12,000 price tag for the 2 heat pumps was cut in half by state rebates, and she paid for the rest with low-interest financing. In the coldest months, her loan repayment and electricity bill was the same as her old oil bill, but she's already saved $100 a month during the shoulder season and gotten a $2,000 federal tax credit. Plus the heat is reliable, she said, unlike her rickety old oil furnace, which forced her to spend much of the winter bundled up indoors. And though she sets the pumps at 66 degrees, she said it feels toastier because the heat is more evenly spread throughout her house. It's a big conversion for a state where over half the households burned oil for heat in 2022, the highest percentage in the country. In 2022, 56% of Maine households burned oil for heat, the highest percentage in the country. The change marks a cultural shift, helped when then-Governor Paul LePage, a conservative Republican, installed heat pumps a decade ago at both his official residence and waterfront home. 10 years ago, they weren't really popular, said a representative of Valley Home Services, a family-owned heating company outside of Bangor. The Valley Home Services representative first installed heat pumps in his sister's new home in 2014, over the objections of her building contractor who, the Valley Home Services representative said, was against it big time. He thought she was going to freeze to death unless she had a furnace or boiler, he said. She didn't, and uses the same heat pumps today. The new technology was embraced especially quickly in one northern Maine community after the representative of Valley Home Services' father installed heat pumps at a Methodist church there. Valley Home Services still sells heating oil and propane, but less and less. Its heat pump business, meanwhile, grew from installing 2 to 3 units a week to 3,000 last year, a nearly 20-fold increase. According to Efficiency Maine, an independent agency that runs energy efficiency programs, replacing heating oil and propane with heat pumps saves a household over $1,000 a year. They can also make a dent in the pollution that is driving climate change. By one calculation, if every single-family home in the United States adopted heat pumps, annual greenhouse gas emissions would drop by 160 million metric tons, the same as taking 32 million cars off the road. In 2022, 64% of electricity generated in Maine came from renewable energy. A rectangular white metal box is affixed to the outside of a home under a window. It is plugged into an outdoor outlet. Maine's fast adoption of electric heat pumps is related to its historic reliance on oil and propane for heat. Maine is rural and sparsely populated, and gas utilities concluded it wasn't worthwhile to lay distribution lines in many areas of the state, according to the executive director of Efficiency Maine. Instead of getting heating fuel from a utility, Mainers generally have to pick up the phone to arrange a delivery when they're running low. This was one of the reasons a 60-year-old woman signed up for a pilot program that installed a free heat pump in her mobile home 2 years ago. The 60-year-old woman is legally blind and relied on a neighbor to read her fuel gauge. She was also tired of having to shovel snow so that fuel delivery workers could reach her oil tank. Now, she just has to hit a switch. The heating and cooling is also more consistent, she said, and though her electricity bills went up, she's still saving $200 to $300 a year. There has been pushback from the oil and gas industry, which has backed campaigns fighting electrification and questioning the efficacy of heat pumps in the bitter cold. Some home heating contractors who sell both oil and heat pumps still erroneously claim that heat pumps can't be used as a primary heating source. While many Mainers use heat pumps in tandem with oil and gas heating systems, the hybrid approach reduces the effectiveness of the heat pump. A state agency recently changed its program, so only households that fully convert to heat pumps get state rebates. People can still keep fossil fuel heating systems, but only as a backup or for household hot water, he said. A Maine man said he and his family had been paying up to $600 a month for oil, as well as going through 3 tons of wood pellets for their heating stove each winter. It works fantastic, he said, of the family's new heat pumps. People that get them rave. https://www.newyorktimes.com/section/climate https://www.newyorktimes.com/news-events/news/RE-Cutter/news-cooling-equipment-shipment-data https://www.newyorktimes.com/wiry-cutter/guides/heat-pump-buying-guide https://maine.gov/energy/initiatives/energy efficiency https://efficiencymaine.com/it-home/heating-cost-comparison https://www.rewiringamerica.org/circuit-breakers-heat-pumps https://www.eia.gov/state/?SID=me https://www.washingtonpost.com Climate Environment/2023/02/07/Maine Gas Industry Heat Pumps/United States. RAWSEP View. 2. A former EPA administrator describes the use of Inflation Reduction Act money for heat pumps in Maine. Gina McCarthy, former EPA administrator on new PM 2.5 limits. Gina McCarthy on particulates. Living on Earth, they took a close look at PM 2.5. Inhalation of these tiny particulates can have adverse health impacts like cardiovascular disease and asthma. Recently, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency announced that it is reducing the allowable amount of fine particulate matter in the air. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to Residents Against with Smoke Emission Particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Gina McCarthy's interviewer. So what examples have you seen of communities who are taking advantage of these opportunities that are presented in the Inflation Reduction Act? McCarthy. Well, let me give you one example. Governor Mills in Maine. When this passed, she said to herself, heat pumps. I like heat pumps. In Maine, you want to have heat for everybody. And she put not just the Inflation Reduction Act investments on the table to actually help to reduce the cost, but she put in state dollars as well. And I know that she is almost, somewhere between 90% and 100% of the homes in the great state of Maine have heat pumps. That is a game changer. And in Massachusetts, we have a group that's been looking at, a whole community organizing around every community having a heat pump and how they could use that to provide the lowest energy cost of any community in Massachusetts. I mean, we are seeing game changers, just like that. In many of the cities across the U.S., we're seeing a lot of investment in solar in homes. Q&A. Former EPA Administrator Gina McCarthy on new air pollution regulations and Inside Climate News. EPA experts hope this decision will lessen the negative health effects associated with exposure to PM 2.5, which is often felt most brutally in 3. United States, House of Representatives. Chairs Rogers and Carter announced subcommittee markup on legislation to modernize Committee on Energy and Commerce, House.gov recent efforts by the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, including a standard on fine particulate matter, or PM 2.5, threaten this legacy and will. 4. California, Fresno. City of Fresno cracking down on smoke shops. ABC 30. The Fresno City Council is moving forward on a proposed ordinance to crack down on unregulated smoke shops across the city. California. California farm counties are not even close to meeting the EPA's new clean air quality standard civil EATS. The EPA lowered the annual standard for particulate matter smaller than 2.5. An EPA map showing which U.S. counties do not meet the new PM 2.5. California. Corning. Corning pushes forward on food, street vendor ordinances. Appeal-Democrat.com mobile food trucks can operate only at the site previously approved by the city. No portable cooking equipment, gas-fueled appliance, wood burning. 5. Florida, Sarasota. Northport, no smoking ordinance goes in effect Friday, WLUSB on March 1st, anew. 6. Massachusetts, Acton. Rex Lumber claims no product lost in fire at pellet mill location, Daily Leaderwood. Images taken the night of the fire show piles of timber and wood chips while a fire burned other tree piles close to a tree line in the 7. Michigan, Detroit. Report. Climate change in Michigan means more air pollution, Bridge Detroit. But this pattern has gone into reverse over the last 10 years, with wildfires producing more fine particulate matter, or PM 2.5, and hot days driving. Michigan braces for more ozone days due to climate change. The Michigan Chronicle. The report also raises concerns about the growing problem of wildfire smoke and its associated fine particulate matter, PM 2.5, in the eastern. 8. Montana, Helena. Open burning season starts March 1st. KVH open burning must follow local regulations, but approval from the DEQ is not required during open burn season. Wood and plant material being burned. Montana. What you need to know about open burn season in Montana. CEN AM 1150 burning techniques to minimize smoke and mitigate the risk of wildfires. 9. Nebraska, Grand Island. Photos. Home explodes in Wood River. The Grand Island Independent flames poke through smoke on the scene of a house explosion in Wood River. Mike Brownlee, The Independent. Wood River. Flames poke through smoke on the scene of a house explosion in Wood River. Mike Brownlee, The Independent. Wood River home explosion. Wood River home photos. Home explodes in Wood River, the Grand Island Independent, Nebraska, Lancaster County. Lancaster County residents urged to monitor air quality with burning season underway. KOLN first responders were. 10. New Mexico, Raton. Early morning fire destroys your Canyon subdivision residence. KRT and Enchanted Air Radio Chief Burke said the owner of the house told firefighters that a wood burning stove had caught the ceiling and roof on fire where high winds fanned. New Mexico, Hermit's Peak. Voluntary evacuations set near Hermit's Peak fire. AOL.com. The wind doesn't help. You can smell wood burning. Advertisement. Gomez said he grew up hunting in the nearby mountains with his great-grandfather. 11. New York. When does New York's brush burn ban start? Local WKTV.com. Wood can be burned. People should never leave these fires unattended and must extinguish them. Burning garbage or leaves is prohibited year-round. Canada, British Columbia. Pitt Meadows spring burn permits available for agricultural land. Maple Ridge Pitt Meadows News. Open wood burning is not permitted in urban areas and Pitt Meadows, according to Burning Regulation Bylaw number 2688. This includes outdoor fireplaces. Canada, Ontario. Smoky skies over parts of Ontario, likely wildfire-related. Environment Canada, CP24, but there is undoubtedly some low-level particulate matter, PM 2.5. That has been advected in previous days over southern Ontario, which is not. 12. North Dakota, Fargo. Fire destroys garage, damages house in rural Polk County. The mighty 790 KFGO Fisher, Minnesota, KFGO. A wood burning stove appears to be the source of a fire in northwestern Minnesota. That. 13. Pennsylvania, Lehigh Valley. Warehouses, highways, more preliminary data released from $100,000 Lehigh Valley Air. LehighValleyNews.com. The highest concentrations of PM 2.5 were recorded in places that are proximate to both warehouses and highways. Officials said. However, a monitor. The EPA's new soot standards could impact the Lehigh Valley. Here's how LehighValleyNews.com. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency early last month finalized new, stronger standards for fine particle pollution, also called soot or PM 2.5. 14. Texas, Austin. Austin City Council to consider expanding electric lawn care rebate and creating new gas. Environment America. PM 2.5 particulate matter, the same amount as 234 million cars. These particles are extremely harmful to people's health and the climate. Texas, Leon County. Leon County issues burn ban due to major winds moving across the Brazos Valley. KXXV burn ban. Local lumberyard Keechee Creek Wood is among those in the area who burn to minimize waste wood buildup. Centerville VFD, the office of. 15. Canada, British Columbia, Comox Valley. RAWSEP view. This letter to the editor was written in April 2019. Letter, wood stove ban battles far more than CO2 emissions, Comox Valley record with stoves, the added release of PM 2.5. Particulate matter, PM, is considered the air pollutant of greatest concern to human health in BC. However, in your recent article, Richard Canigan, CO for the town, refers only to CO2 emissions from wood stoves as a major concern. Wood smoke also exposes neighbors to irritating odors that enter homes and interfere with outdoor activities. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Letter, wood stove ban battles far more than CO2 emissions. Dear Editor, Black Press Media, April 4, 2019. Dear Editor, Comox Council is to be congratulated for taking a first step in dealing with our wood smoke problem. However, in your recent article, Richard Canigan, CO for the town, refers only to CO2 emissions from wood stoves as a major concern. That is certainly true with any source of heat, but he missed the big one: rewood stoves, the added release of PM 2.5. Particulate matter, PM, is considered the air pollutant of greatest concern to human health in BC. BC HealthLink. Open burning emits approximately 45% of the PM 2.5 in the Comox Valley, wood stoves approximately 35%. Not quite as much, but still very significant and exacerbated by being generated closer to homes, concentrated in some neighborhoods, and poor firewood burning practices. Wood smoke also exposes neighbors to irritating odors that enter homes and interfere with outdoor activities and is a significant health hazard to anyone with breathing issues. These are the most significant concerns, not CO2 emissions. A resident of Comox, Canada, British Columbia, Okanagan. Wood burning stove replacement rebate for Central Okanagan residents. Kelowna Capital News. Transitioning to newer, cleaner burning technology appliances helps improve air quality by reducing smoke pollution and harmful particulate emissions. The regional district with smoke reduction program offers up to $1,500. Wood-burning appliance and replacing it with newer, cleaner burning. Wood-burning stove replacement rebate for Central Okanagan residents. Lake Country Calendar Central Okanagan residents can get a bigger rebate this year when recycling an old wood-burning appliance and replacing it with newer. Central Okanagan boosts rebates for cleaner air. B&N Braking. Discover how Central Okanagan's with smoke reduction program offers up to $1,500 in rebates for eco-friendly heating, improving air quality. Canada. U.S. EPA tightens sit standards for first time in decade. Yahoo Movies Canada. The proposal would lower the allowable concentration of particulate matter smaller than 2.5 microns, or PM2.5, to a range of 9 to 10 micrograms. Canada, British Columbia, Powell River. The Community with Smoke Reduction Program has returned for 2024. My Powell River now qualified applicants can receive between $400 and $3,000 in rebates for replacing old wood stoves with new, cleaner burning wood stoves. Would insert. 16. United Kingdom. Drax. Jenny Jones. Jenny Jones calls for Drax subsidies to be diverted into home insulation and renewable energy. Bright green. Burning wood is not a sustainable strategy and government would get far more benefit from using this subsidy to insulate homes and businesses. Jenny Jones calls for Drax subsidies to be diverted into home insulation and renewable energy. March 3, 2024. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to Residents Against with Smoke Emission Particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Green Party peer Jenny Jones has called for the billions of pounds currently being used to subsidize Drax power station to be used for insulating homes and installing solar panels. Drax's wood-burning power station is the UK's biggest emitter of carbon dioxide. Jones said, Drax is burning ancient forests in North America and well-established woodlands in the UK. It is a pollution menace to local people, as well as the planet. Burning wood is not a sustainable strategy and government would get far more benefit from using this subsidy to insulate homes and businesses, so that we can cut down on the long-term energy bills. This is not a green energy scandal, it is a business scam. Far more jobs would be generated if this money were invested in insulation and solar panel installations. Jones' comments follow an investigation from BBC Panorama which he says exposed the truth behind National Power's claims that it protected no-go areas in Canada that it would not log. In July 2023, Jones asked the minister responsible in the Lords about trees from old forests being felled and transported from Canada to burn in the UK. Wood pellet giant Drax targets California forests. DeSmog. A 2021 study from the European Academy's Science Advisory Council concluded that burning wood for energy is not effective in mitigating climate. United Kingdom. Drax. Wood pellet giant Drax targets California forests. DeSmog. The agreement comes as a BBC investigation revealed that Drax was burning rare forest wood in the Canadian province of British Columbia. BBC Panorama. United Kingdom. Drax. Drax UK power station still burning rare and at-risk Canadian wood. Canary Drax gets £6 billion from the UK government because it claims its power plant is renewable, while burning some of the planet's rarest trees. United Kingdom. Why Britain is burning North American forests to keep the lights on. Yahoo Finance. Wood, the fuel that British industry thought it had left behind more than a century ago, is staging a comeback. United Kingdom. British Medical Journal. The updated WHO air quality guidelines are a big step forward, but not a complete solution. The BMJ numerous studies have identified fine particulate matter, PM2.5. The health risks of PM2.5 are immediate following exposure and continue for in. United Kingdom. Fuel for wood burners benefits from bonfire of red tape. The Times fuel for wood burners has been shipped from South Africa to Britain using electronic trade documents, providing one of the first examples of. United Kingdom. The Great British Pub might be doomed. Should we care? Esquire. The smell of wood smoke drifts over the village. In a bus shelter on the Green Island, a laminated poster advertises the new Stonesfield village. United Kingdom. Wirral. Wirral Council looks to bring in blanket restriction on wood burners. Wirral Globe. Wood and coal burning stoves as well as garden bonfires. A council report also outlined the rules that would be put in place. It said, you cannot. Wirral Council proposes borough-wide smoke control to combat air pollution, affecting B&N braking. This initiative aims to address air pollution by regulating what and how residents can burn fuel in their homes, with particular focus on wood burners. Wirral Council looks to bring in blanket restriction on wood burners. Wirral Globe. Some of the smoke orders have been in place since 1958 and were brought in to tackle air pollution issues caused by smoke. Wood and coal burning. Video footage of police officers running into burning building released. Wirral Globe. Wirral Globe. Body-worn camera footage of police wood burners. Wirral Road closed for accident investigation work after. United Kingdom, Wales, Dyserth Falls. Dyserth Falls Resort defends burning practices amid health concerns. B&N braking. Dyserth Falls Resort faces scrutiny for its wood burning practices, sparking a debate on sustainable waste management in the hospitality industry. Explore the controversy over Dyserth Falls Resort's waste disposal methods and its impact on community health and the environment. Dyserth Holiday Park insists wood being burnt at site is clean. Real Journal. Real Journal. The group that runs a holiday park in Dyserth have defended the burning of wood that a resident said was not great for those with. 17. Europe. Mediterranean Sea. Chemical characterization and sources of background aerosols in the Eastern Mediterranean. ScienceDirect.com. A PM2.5 cyclone was installed prior to the particle phase instrumentation. 18. France, Lille. PM2.5 in lung cancer. Fine particulate matter affects e.g. far-mutated lung cancers. Medscape, Lille, France. Patients with lung cancer who reside in polluted areas, i.e., Those affected by PM2.5, PM10, or nitrogen dioxide have an additional 19. Italy, Lombardy. Agriculture in Lombardy matches urbanization in PM2.5 pollution. Mirage News, PM2.5, in Lombardy, showing that it is comparable to the impact of other well-known sources of pollution, such as urbanization, industry, and study. Impact of agricultural activities on PM2.5 in Lombardy is comparable to that of phys.org distribution of fine dust, PM2.5, in Lombardy, showing that it is comparable to the 20. Liberia. RIA road project causing major health hazard. The New Dawn Liberia. The findings further revealed that particulate matter 2.5 or PM2.5, a dust particle easily inhaled and causing respiratory problems, averaged 21. China. Airbnb owner describes trauma after fatal fire. The press, NZ. Chinese tourist Jiron Wang died in the fire after renting the house bus through Airbnb with her husband. Supplied. In China, a wood-burning fireplace. 22. India. Odisha AQI updates. Air quality rises to satisfactory category in Cuttack and Bridge Rajnagar Sam bad English. PM2.5 and PM10. In Talshare, air quality moderate, index value 131, and major pollutant found, PM2.5. 23. Korea. Fine dust blankets nation on Monday. Stagnant air to blame. Korea Jungong daily. Such advisories are issued when the average concentration of ultrafine dust particles smaller than 2.5 micrometers in diameter, also known as PM24. Myanmar, Yangon. First temporal distribution model of ambient air pollutants, PM2.5, PM10, and O3, in Yangon. ScienceDirect.com. AQI for particulate matter, PM2.5 and PM10, was computed for the years 2019 to 2021 using the AQI formula provided by the U.S. Environmental. 25. Thailand. 10 million Thais treated for pollution health problems in 2023. Barons. The kingdom cities often rank among the worst in the world for PM2.5 particles, so tiny they can enter the bloodstream during the early months. 26. PM2.5 and human health. PM2.5 and childhood asthma. Air pollution linked to increased risk for childhood asthma. Health Day. Chon School of Public Health in Boston and colleagues examined early life exposure to fine particulate matter, PM2.5, and Parkinson's disease. Causal association between long-term exposure to air pollution and incident Parkinson's disease. ScienceDirect.com. PM2.5 exposure may have a causal relationship with Parkinson's disease. Abstract. Epidemiological evidence for long-term air pollution exposure and PM2.5 and harm to health. Invisible invaders. How PM2.5 particles harm your health. This health hazard is called PM2.5, a term used to describe particulate matter smaller than 2.5 microns. PM2.5 and adverse health effects. Air pollution and health, new advances for an old public health problem. JAMA Network. The 2015 Global Burden of Diseases Study, a 195-country investigation, found fine particulate matter, PM2.5, and childhood asthma. Early exposure to air pollution tied to higher childhood asthma risk. Disparities worsen. Impact News Medical. In a recent study published in JAMA Network Open, a group of researchers explored how early exposure to fine particulate matter, PM2.5, and cement and PM2.5 PCA to file lawsuit against EPA on emission standard, International Cement Review particulate matter, PM2.5 emission standard. On February 7, 2024, the EPA issued its final reconsideration on the particulate matter national PM2.5 and mental disorders. A stronger association of mental disorders with smaller particulate matter and a modifying. ScienceDirect.com. PM mental disorder association was the strongest for PM1, followed by PM2.5 and PM10. Air temperature may modify the PM mental disorder association. PM2.5 and cardiovascular disease. Short-term associations between fine particulate air pollution and cardiovascular. And ScienceDirect.com. PM2.5 data, representing ground-level fine particulate matter, were obtained from the Atmospheric Composition Analysis Group at Washington University. PM2.5 and lifestyle. The role of lifestyle in the association between long-term ambient air pollution exposure and BMC medicine, Biomed Central. Particulate matter, PM, including PM less than or equal to 10 micrometers, PM10, PM less than or equal to 2.5 micrometers, PM. However, the association of PM1, PM2.5, PM2.5 and harm to lung function. Air pollutants harm lung function of preterm-born school-aged children. Helio further. This patient population had lower lung function with high levels of exposure to particulate matter between 2.5 m in diameter. PM2.5 and trade-off between physical activity. Trade-off between air pollution exposure and physical activity. ScienceDirect. SO2, sulfur dioxide. NO2, nitrogen dioxide. PM10, thoracic particulate matter. PM2.5, fine particulate matter. PM2.5 and effect on team performance. Team performance suffers with inferior air quality. Air Quality News. The research studied the effect of carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, and PM2.5 using data from 16 AER and monitoring stations in London. 27. The biomass industry. Opportunities ahead. Biomass magazine would pellets in the coming year to convert its 500 megawatts number 1 coal-fired boiler at Kaohsiung Sinta power plant to wood pellets. A $300 million. Burn those trees. Power line. If you thought using wood fires for energy was out of date, it has been, actually, for a century and a half. You are behind the times. Wood burning is